Hi, I'm Jane from JCW Fitness, and I'm just going to run through some very simple but effective exercises for you to do either if you are immediately postnatal, and you can start these exercises immediately as soon as you've had the baby. They don't require a lot of time and energy, which is really important if you've just given birth. And the other thing that these exercises are good for is if you have still got an extended abdominal separation, which is more than 2.5 fingers wide, and I've got a separate video to show you how to assess your abdominal separation. So these exercises are really good for bringing the strength back into the tummy and for reducing the gap in your abdominal muscles. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a simple imprint position. So you lie on your back with your knees bent, and we're going to try and target the deep lower tummy muscle. So I want you to pull your belly button in towards your spine and very gently press the lower back into the floor. So there's a sense of the belly button drawing down towards the spine and the spine pressing into the mat. This is what we call imprint, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. The other thing you can add with imprint is to engage the pelvic floor. So you want to pull up inside as though you're stopping a wee halfway through, and try not to grip your bottom muscles. So try and keep your bottom relaxed, the tummy is in, the lower back's on the floor, and then you draw internally through the pelvic floor. So this is an imprint. I would do this 5 to 10 times, holding it in your maximum compression for a couple of breaths each time. And you can also add a pelvic tilt. So I'm going to take a breath in, I'm going to exhale down into the imprint. I've got the pelvic floor, and I'm just going to tilt the pelvis off the floor. Keeping the knees in line with the hips, we're not going to let them come out to the side. Not squeezing the bottom, but squeezing from the waist down, and then relax. I'm going to take a breath. Exhale to imprint, drawing up the pelvic floor, and then an exhale into a pelvic tilt, pushing down through the tummy, and I want to sense that everything's pulling in towards each other, nice and compressed and nice and tight. And again, I would do 5 to 10 minimum of those a day. If you've got a wide separation, I want you to watch how I get myself up. If you roll up like this, you're going to push your abdominals further apart. And this is something you need to be really careful. And one way of checking is if you come into a sit-up, if you get a bulge here, that's an indication that your abdominal muscles are a little bit too separated. So you need to roll onto your side, all the way onto your side, and push yourself up with your hand. Okay, so I'm going to move on to an all fours exercise, where you have your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips, and it's the same thing as imprint really, but the other way up. So I'm going to take a breath, keeping my back flat. I'm just going to pull the belly button up, lifting it up towards the spine, and what you might be tempted to do is flex through your back. I don't want you to do that yet. We're trying to isolate the lower abdominal. So if I can show you my tummy again, so if I just relax it down, take a breath, and then as I exhale, pull it up from underneath. And I can feel it down here, nice and low. Now, if you've had a cesarean, it does go a bit numb here. It takes quite a lot of work to bring the feeling back, but I assure you it will come back. Lots and lots of women say they feel numb after a cesarean, but these exercises really work. So I'm going to draw in the pelvic floor as well. And then I'm going to add a pelvic tilt, squeeze and hold and breathe and pop it back. So I'm just moving from the waist down at the moment. I'm going to lift up through the tummy, lift the pelvic floor and tuck underneath. And it's the lift of the belly button which brings in the lower tummy muscle, and that's the thing that draws your separated muscles together. Just do one more, pull in and tilt underneath, and I would do as many of these as you can really, but let's say 10 a day. The other thing you can do is to go from your pelvic tilt to a full cat stretch. You can let your head go and push your back up to the ceiling and squeeze here, squeeze tummy, gently but firmly, and return. Now these exercises, incidentally, all the exercises I'm doing are great as well if you're pregnant. You can do these exercises if you're pregnant or if you're postnatal. And you can do these exercises if you have the wide separation to help bring them back together. Lovely. And you come back to flat. So good luck with the programme. If you need any more information, you can just email me, jane@jcwfitness.co.uk.